Hello, and welcome to another episode of Adamo Baseball, where I'm your host, Adamo. And in this episode, I'm going to be talking about the Los Angeles Angels. And yeah, that's their official name now. I think it was last year I did an episode on their best player when I think I broke that down a little bit. But yeah, their official name now is the Los Angeles Angels. They dropped the of Anaheim part because they realized that people got tired of saying all that. So I know last year I picked them to win the West more just as a crazy pick than anything else. This year I'm going to pick them because I actually think that they're going to win the West. Are there holes? Yes. There's some big holes. But at the same time, they've got the team to do it. As long as they don't screw up, yeah, like this team, they really can actually. Hold on one second. Sorry. My bad. I realized that I looked up this list and forgot to look up one guy real quick. So, yeah. Anyway. So, first of all, let's get into their lineup like I always do. Now that I'm going to be crazy and pick the Angels to win it again, only this time I think that they actually will. It's not just a crazy pick. I think that they are probably the best team in the West. Leading off, David Fletcher, second base. So, yeah, when I was looking this guy up, there's a lot of walks. As well there should be. He doesn't strike out a lot. I don't know how good he is at second base. But if you're at second base, it means that you have to be able to, do your job. Especially against lefties. In fact, he's one of the guys that the shift is most prone to, test your skills. But yeah, it looks like he's been a leadoff guy for a while, and he actually is a pretty good leadoff guy. He just doesn't get a lot of attention. Batting second, Jared Walsh, first base. So this is the guy I was just looking up. He's relatively fresh into the league, so there wasn't a lot to go off of for 2019, so you really can't base it off those stats. But last year, 2020, he actually was a pretty good player for the Angels. And if he can keep it up, then he's probably going to be a pretty good guy. And yeah, it looks like he's right in about the right position. Number 3, I did a full episode on this guy, Mike Trout, Centerfield. I don't know that I even really need to talk about him at this point because I think I've made it clear that I'm a fan. And, okay, admittedly, I want to see the Angels win the division. If for no other reason, then I want to see Mike Trout get a postseason win. Think about it. He has never won a postseason game. It's not his fault. He doesn't have... he really hasn't had the talent around him to do it. Though sometimes he has. It's just, there's only so much you can do playing center field, trying to get that postseason win. Do I think he's the best player in baseball? Yes. Do I think that he should get his postseason win? Yes. So, going back to the postseason, I got the Twins beating the Blue Jays in a one-game playoff. And then I got, the Twins going down to the Yankees in the first round of the playoffs, not just the wild card round. So I got the White Sox playing against the Angels. I think the White Sox would probably win that one. But hey, I can discuss that later. Batting cleanup, Anthony Rendon, third base. Okay, I live in the DMV, that being District of Columbia, Maryland, Virginia, and Anthony Rendon is a god around here, and he played pretty well as an Angel. I mean, granted, he didn't play that much, but he did play pretty well. I understand why the Nats didn't re-sign him. They had to choose between him and Steven Strasburg, and they chose Strasburg. I don't blame them, and I don't blame Anthony Rendon at all for choosing to get an amazing contract with the Angels. I mean, why not play in a park where you don't have to worry about rain? Ever. So, yeah, he's debatably the best third baseman in the league. I know those are big words, but I'm willing to say them. If for no other reason than he doesn't get hurt and doesn't lose that title. Batting fifth, Justin Upton, left field. He was like the Diamondback for several years. I mean, he's a consistent all-star, and there's no reason to believe that he can't make the All-Star game again. I know, this is a pretty loaded team, so if you make the All-Star game, it's because you earned it, not because your team needs a rep. He's actually a pretty good player. And fifth is where he belongs, because he's got power. Batting sixth, Shohei Ohtani. Designated hitter. So, it's no secret, he's the both ways guy. He hits and he pitches. As a hitter, he actually has done pretty well. On the mound, he hasn't had a lot of time to prove himself. So I do have him on the rotation, but he really hasn't pitched that much. He can, and when he's pitched, he's done well. But he hasn't really had a chance to prove himself, because that's usually where he gets hurt. But yeah, he's a pretty good hitter. So if he can stay healthy and he continues to do the two-way thing, then he may be that guy that they need to get them moving forward. Number 7, Dexter Fowler, right field. So he's had some good years, he's had some bad years. For Dexter Fowler, you kind of don't know what you're going to get. He's a good fielder, but he's not exactly the greatest hitter. So he may have a 25 home run season with 85 RBIs, batting .280. He may have 10 home runs, batting .245, with 40 runs batted in. You don't know. So 7 is about the right spot. Batting 8th, Jose Iglesias, shortstop. He's been kind of a mixed bag. He won Rookie of the Year. He made the All-Star game in 2015. He was a Red Sox. He was a Tiger. I think he has a ring from that 2013 Red Sox team. And he got traded at the deadline. And was Rookie of the Year. Since then, he really hasn't... he's made some rounds in the league. He was an Oriole last year. And he's a pretty good shortstop, but he really hasn't, made waves. Batting 9th, Max Stassi, catcher. Yeah, I think I made it pretty clear. When you're catching, you're there to catch. You're not there to hit. You'll look at his stats, and yeah, he's there to catch. The rotation. This is going to be make or break for the Angels. There's a lot of upside, there's a lot of downside. It's a matter of which side's going to come out on top. First guy in the rotation, Bundy. I have been very critical of him. I don't think that he's a great pitcher. And I think that he's had good years. I think that he'd be a better trade chip than he would be as a one guy in the rotation. Pitching second, Andrew Haney. Okay, so when it comes to college sports, I'm an Oklahoma State fan. So I'm supposed to root for former Oklahoma State Cowboys in any sport. Andrew Haney is a former Oklahoma State Cowboy. He has not, however, pitched that well in the bigs. He's a 4 guy in the rotation, and he needs to stay there. Putting him number 2? No. Number 3, Griffin Canning. He actually does belong in the 3 spot. He belongs there. And he's a pretty decent 3 guy. He's not gonna be an ace, but 3 in the rotation actually is pretty good. 4th, Jose Quintana. I would put him second. Seriously, I would. He's actually a pretty good pitcher. He's got a lot of upside. He's got a lot of downside. When he was a White Sox, he had a lot of good years. When he was a Cub, it was very mediocre. And I think going to Anaheim, I think he's going to do pretty well this year. I don't know. I just got a hunch. I think he's going to have a good year. I'd either put him second or he may even need to go to the top of the rotation. I think he's going to have a good year. I really do. Pitching 5th, Alex Cobb. I'd put him in the bullpen. Seriously, I've never been impressed. And so they've got a 6th guy in the rotation, Shohei Ohtani. I'd put him 5th. Really, I would. Because if you got him 5th in the rotation, he could either be a surprise in the rotation, or he may get hurt and have to revert specifically to hitting, in which case you're not really out anything. And then you got to pull up Alex Cobb and just have him fill the slot. So like I said, this rotation, it can be make or break. They got it set up for a 6-man rotation. And personally, I don't care. I know a lot of people are like, that's not baseball. Well, yeah, you can kind of do what you want. I mean, I'm not a purist, so like I want the DH in the National League. And the Players Association shot it down this year. The collective bargaining agreement comes up at the end of next year, so we'll get into that then. Now that I'm back off my tangent there, if they can make a successful 6-man rotation work, then do it. Make a 6-man rotation work. You only have to worry about your pitcher throwing once a week. That's already been true most of the time anyway. It'll be even truer now. So the rotation, again, it's very make or break. Their lineup has a lot of upside. Like, their top 6 guys specifically in the lineup can produce a lot of runs, and you're looking at a team that's like set to score like over 850 runs this season. I I don't necessarily think that they will, but they can lead the league in runs scored this season. I really believe that. And their bullpen, this actually could be the deciding factor. Closer, Raisel Iglesias. So they brought him over from Cincinnati. He'll get you 30-plus saves in a season. He can do it. And there's no reason to think that he won't eclipse 30, if not 40 saves. And for the bullpen itself, you got Felix Pena and Mike Myers. Or Mayers. I actually put in MLB when searching for him just to make sure that I got the right guy. They got a couple of solid relievers. Like, they actually can move forward with those guys, and there's no reason to think otherwise. So, if they run into rotation problems, they've got a bullpen to pick them up. And I think that this is a winner. I don't necessarily know if they're going to win 98 or 100 games. So, now I'm going to go ahead and get into the postseason thing. Yankees are probably going to be the 1 seed. White Sox 2. Angels 3. And then I got the Twins hosting the Blue Jays. I think the Twins beat the Blue Jays, get their first postseason win for the first time in a long time. I think, alright, so that would be the Yankees would play the Twins, and the White Sox would play the Angels. I think the White Sox would probably take that series. Probably in 4. It depends on who the Angels run for pitching, but I think that the White Sox would take it in 4. And the Yankees again sweep the Twins, because that's kind of what they do. Then you got the White Sox versus the Yankees in the ALCS. Yeah, the Yankees are probably going to the World Series. I'm only breaking down the American League. I need to do far more research on the National League before I make a determination on how I feel there. Though if I had to guess, it'd probably be the Braves. But I think that this Angels team is the best in the West. I don't know if they're looking to the future or not. Because, their rotation, it's a lot of veterans. So, I don't know how forward-thinking they are here. Also depends on how Shohei Ohtani can hold up long-term as a pitcher, not just as a hitter. So, they've got some long-term talent. I just don't know how long-term that pitching staff is. And those are my thoughts on the Los Angeles Angels. And if you'd like to let me know your thoughts, you can do so in the comments below. And if you're listening to this podcast, you can do so on Patreon. Adamo Baseball Podcast. No hyphen. With that being said, thank you for listening and watching. Cheers until next time.